In today's Sunday solution, we're going to try and change out a couple of our Fan-Tastic fan vent covers.
It's time
For another Sunday solution.
Let's go.
And what has happened here is because, let me get out of the shadow, out of the sun, because the vents get old, the covers get old and get brittle right where the bracket is on the inside. If you close them automatically, a lot of times they'll crack here. And that's what's happened here. And I temporarily fixed it when I saw I had a leak with some Turnabond tape, which stopped the leak. So I'm gonna go ahead and change this one. And then while we're up here, we're gonna do the other one over there for the bathroom. I'm gonna get in there. We gotta see what I got, what I'm up against. They put a lot of die-core down. Shouldn't be too difficult once I get to the screws and locate them, which I think are under here somewhere.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands, strong like a tree.
All right, so these jobs never go as you think they are gonna go. I was under the impression that this clamp was vertical, not horizontal. And then I have these other screws here that I don't think are holding it down. I think, if you see in the replacement, they're bigger holes. So I think they might go to the Fan-Tastic fan, these three. These four are what's holding the cover down. So we're gonna try taking those four off. And then we'll see if it comes off of there. It's always a surprise whenever you work on these things. Let's see what we got. That's good. Yep, that's what I suspected. Okay. Hey, can you bring it up, babe? All right, so change this. You got to put the bracket all the way up. Or so. That's good. Okay, so on here there's a slot which goes on that roller right there. And that's why you gotta bring it up a little bit to get it off of there. There's a mess in here. And I don't know if you can see in the camera, it's dirty, but I'll show them to you anywhere. The stress cracks are right. Stress cracks are right here, here, here. And there's one back here, one there. And that's from this bracket. When you put these down, you gotta be careful the motor doesn't over tighten. And that's what cracks them when they get brittle. So, let's get rid of that one. Playing Frisbee in East Tennessee today. While I'm up here, gonna clean this off pretty good. I'm just using some alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and stuff right here. Just cleaned up. Make it pretty. The big thing with these, you gotta be careful. I'm using a drill. And you put these back in. I should have brought a Phillips screwdriver up. You just gotta be very gentle with them and you don't strip them out. Should be good. Let's use a new one. Gotta get it on here. Okay. So I made a mistake. It was brought to my attention by one of the viewers that Tiffin used self-leveling silicone instead of Dicor. And there's been a discussion on Facebook. I should have known better because I actually read about this about a year ago. And I ordered a tube of self-leveling silicone for my coach in case I ever needed it, but I forgot I had it. And the discussion's pretty heated, usually, or not so much heated, but back and forth. Some people say you can use Dicor, some people say you can't. But I used Dicor in this vent repair, and I should have used self-leveling silicone because according to the guy that commented, I don't remember his name, I wish I did. I took the video down and I'm gonna redo it because I don't want anybody doing the wrong thing. And he referred me to a video, YouTuber AZ, capital A, capital Z expert, and apparently he does a lot of these vent repairs, and he's pretty knowledgeable at what he's doing. So do your own research. I should have researched it more probably, but let me show you. This is what happens when you use silicone on top of, or I'm sorry, use Dicor on top of self-leveling silicone, which is this stuff. And it looks the same, but it's not. Now look, this is the repair that I did. The Dicor just peels right off. It won't stick to it. Like, I can literally peel it all off. So that's a bad thing. And that's not good. So, and the other thing I noticed in this AZ expert I did see in his video, when I had these off and it was bothering me, I even said something to my wife later, there's 3 screws in here that were rusty. And I'm like, why are they rusty? The only reason to screw with rust is if it's getting water to it. And in this video, in the AZ expert's video, he showed me why. Apparently it was done at Tiffin, and they still do it. And I'll get into that more when we get to it. So let me get this Dicor off and then I'll explain. All right, so what they do at the factory, if I can explain this, try to, is they take the whole vent cover and they put it on. Then they use this 1/4-inch nut driver to drive the screws that go into the Fan-Tastic fan. And what happens is, this can't fit through this bracket. So when they drive these down, they drive them down as far as they can, and they stop. And that causes that to be an issue right there, because these screws aren't all the way down. I have these screws, which are just regular Phillips head, and that's what I'm gonna replace them with. And it makes sense to me, because these are just the typical self-tapping screws. And you can see the rust on there. Okay. I didn't have any water intrusion, but look at the rust on that screw. What he's saying is it gets through this hinge, and then it comes down here and lays in these pockets. So we're gonna fill them the way he did. We're gonna fill them with silicone after I clean them out a little bit. we're gonna put the screws back in it. Just to feel a little better about the whole thing, we're gonna fill these pockets with silicone too. And these screws I'm replacing, they're the same length as the old ones, pretty much, okay? A little bit longer, but not much. A hair. But they have a different head on them. This head will fit through this hole. See? I don't know if you can see that on the camera. It's hard with these gloves on. But it'll fit through the hole, so I can tighten that down with my Phillips head after I'm all done. And of course, I got to do both ends because I made a mistake. But I don't want people to get bad information. And I'm glad that somebody brought it to my attention. We're all learning here. And this is how they explained it to me. If you can stretch it, how it stretches, that's silicone. That's how you can tell what you have. And everybody should do their own research and obviously, and see what they have. So to recap that, in case I'm not clear enough, nothing else will stick to silicone except silicone. The die-core won't work. All right, I think we're ready to rock and roll. I'm gonna use a little of this cleaner here. This glass cleaner is good stuff, man. You can use it on pretty much everything. I've seen Tiffin techs use it on the paint just because it's real soft and easy on the paint. It cleans real well. I definitely feel better knowing why those screws were rusting now. So I want to say a big thanks out to the AZ expert for doing his video. It's the only one I could find on it. I'll put a link in it if you want to see that. I'll put a link in the description. All right, so we got them all prepped. We're gonna get ready to lay down the silicone. You can see all the rust down in there. First step, I'm just using standard waterproof silicone, which again, silicone will stick to silicone. Blow in the tube and fill that hole. And fill that. Don't fill this channel. Just to keep the water from laying. And it can't hurt to have a little in there. A little in there. So let me put a little one in first here. When you put these in, you gotta be really careful not to over torque them. That's all you want. Oh. Like that. Oops, get in there. Okay, so now I'm gonna put in the 3 that I'm replacing. Here. Alright, so what I'm using is the Hangs self-leveling RB silicone. All right, so there you go. That's the self-leveling silicone. Not to be confused with die-core. again, I want to give a shout out to the subscriber or commenter that put me on the right track with this. Otherwise, I'd have had issues for sure. And make sure you check with your own RV if you're going to do this repair. See what kind of, they're using self-leveling silicone or if they're using self-leveling Dicor, because silicone will only stick to silicone. And I want to send out a thank you to AZ Expert for his expertise too. Without his video, I wouldn't have been able to figure out what the deal was with those screws. So, all right. So I hope you enjoyed this Sunday solution. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to click subscribe and like. And we'll see you in our next video.